Namaste. On behalf of Yoga Bharati, I would like to invite you all for the centenary celebrations of Professor Satyanarayana Shastry Ji. In all my talks, all my ideas, I owe to Professor Shastry Ji. He was, traditionally we could call him as a guru like, but more importantly, he was such a great friend and my mentor and guide for everything that I have achieved in my life. And not only for me, for hundreds of people that he has been a guide. He is somebody who is absolutely, totally scientific, and also his deep core, he is the sadhaka. We have published already one book from him, Let Go book. So once again, welcome you all for the Shastryji's centenary that we are celebrating. Thank you so much. Dhanyavad.
Talking about Shastryji is a very big nostalgia for all of us. He is everything for us. Integrated approach of yoga therapy was a major contribution of Shastryji. Every class, it could be Dharma class or normal yoga class, Upanishad class, he has to begin with happiness analysis. He always used to state is all dukkha is vega, vega, vega. Silence is happiness, which all of us have incorporated. Condensing the whole of the Indian concept from Vedas and Upanishad, condensing it into Vega in the time domain and expansion in the space domain is the biggest formula that Shastryji has given. And thank you all.
Esteemed friends, I listened to Shri Satyanarayana Shastry Ji in Kanyakumari. He was a genius. He was a unique person. A genius is one who thinks differently, not only in a different way, but in a positive way. Not only in a positive way, but also in a progressive way. Not only in a progressive way, but in a scientific way. Not only in a scientific way, but in a spiritual way. It was in Shastryji I found a sweet blending of science and spirituality. When I listened to him, I was lifted to a higher level of transcendental ecstasy. I was transported into a position of ecstatic trance. The way how he speaks is really profound, scholastic, erudite, logical, rational, scientific, and spiritually true. May we all be benefited by his speeches. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you very much.
It was love at first sight. Shastri used to love me more than a son. So now what are the takeaways from his lectures? Vistarata and Naidanya. That is expansiveness and slowing down. So what is expansiveness? He used to say that enjoying the soundaryam of deity in the temple with open eyes is far more comforting than meditating on the form of the deity with closed eyes. Slowing down, he used to say you have to slow down everything, all activities. He used to advocate pranopasana and pranavopasana, though all upasanas are admissible. He was following these two. As Shastri said, everything, pain or pleasure, good boss or bad boss, everything is his prasada. In conclusion, I cannot express in words my eternal gratitude to Shastryji, the self-made modern saint of India.
Professor Satyanarayana Shastry was a legendary personality in the field of the science and spirituality. He used to teach science in the class of spirituality and teach spirituality in the class of science. His main theme of discussion in every class has been Atma Pariksha, Sukha Dukha Pariksha, and Ananda Mimamsa. See, these are the only three areas which are to be taught by a novel teacher. We enjoyed his class in the typical forum of Guru Shishya Parampara. His quotes from Vedas, Upanishads, Bhagavad, Bhagavad Gita, you just list any textbook. He used to take the reference of it and make the students to understand convincingly with absolute authority. I am happy that Yoga Bharati has taken up an initiation, and Professor Raghuram Ji has been a versatile student of Professor Shastryji, and I have been a student of Raghuram Ji. So, Guru Vina Guru, I am glad that I am given an opportunity to share my views. Thank you. Namaskar.
I first met Professor Satyanarayana Shastry, Shastryji as we used to call him, in 1982-83 in Bangalore. In my search for a place where I could do yoga research for my doctorate in Germany, I had come in touch with Vivekananda Kendra. The organization made it possible and gave me everything I needed for my research. Shastryji was very connected with the Kendra, which profited enormously from his immense knowledge of the Shastras. I was immediately impressed by his powerful aura, his audacious thinking, and overwhelming hospitality. He seemed very pleased that I took so much interest in Indian philosophy and spirituality, and was anytime ready to receive me, attentively listen to my questions, and patiently answer and clarify my doubts. In time, I started to look at him as a kind of Indian father of mine. His sincerity and openness were astonishing. Shastryji was a living example of knowledgeable love, which he shared with everybody. At least for me, it was impossible not to reciprocate that love. I felt blessed that destiny allowed me to meet him. He certainly was one of the very few men I met whom I would regard as impeccable.
Ram Ram. Shastriji's contribution in the field of spirituality is very unique. His happiness analysis talks and also his energy model. Even regarding happiness analysis, we see in Indian philosophy the great philosophers like Abhinavagupta, Anandavardhana, so on and so forth, had dealt with that. Even before that, we see that in Taittiriya Upanishad and Rigveda Samhita, and also in Yoga Vasishta. But regarding energy model, it is totally his unique contribution. When Shastriji normally talks about it, you can see in his eyes a kind of receptivity from both the nature and the consciousness. May we all, with the blessings of the divine, follow the insights or experience the insights of Shastriji, having our sadhanas based on energy model. Dhanyavada.
My name is V S Ragunathan and this is my wife Chitra. Shastriji is the softest, kindest and most lovable person that we have known in our life. He has added the word spirituality to our lexicon. Shastriji was famous for giving lectures on various Upanishads, and particularly Mandukya impressed him very much. And because he said that the first mantra alone is sufficient to explain the entire gamut of the idea of the Brahman. He explained very beautifully the self-similarity between the Pavitra Akshara, Om, and the four states of our existence. He explained the continuous transformation of the state of self from one of course Jagrata to a subtle Swapna to still subtler Prajna, leading finally to a total silence. He used to say, you do experimenting, you do reading, and also you do questioning, for that alone will help you with acquiring more jnana. We consider ourselves blessed to have known and interacted with him. Thank you all.
Shastryji initiated us to the learning of Upanishads. He never thinks women cannot learn Vedanta. In this outlook, I have a great respect for him. I used to attend his Mandukya Upanishad lectures, through which I understood the concept of Om a little bit. He gave us new understanding of Kartum Akartum Anyata Kartum. The sense of choice gives us a great empowerment in everyday transactions or engagement with worldly affairs. His limitless patience in answering questions from uninformed as well as informed added great value to his discourse. Thank you.